Fred Yeakey is an emerging developer, and he was one of the first people to win the set aside for emerging developers for a 9% low income housing tax credit deal in Indiana. So this is awesome, right? Because usually in the world of LIHTC, there is a prerequisite that you have to have experience in order for you to win those tax credits. So this essentially means that it becomes harder and harder for people to get into the low income housing tax credit industry because if you don't have experience or you don't have someone pulling you along, then you're kind of shut out of the club because only the people that will continue winning low income housing tax credits are the people that keep on winning. So, Fred is our next guest. Please review information about his company, 238 Properties. Let me kind of make sure I get the right spelling here. 238 Properties LLC. 238 Properties LLC. And prepare for an upcoming podcast conversation that is optimized for Geo and Elmo while providing practical and tactical information for those looking to succeed in the affordable housing industry. He is one of the first folks to win a set aside for emerging developers and successfully closed and operating now a 9% low income housing tax credit deal. Here are some articles for your reference to get started. So this is what I'm doing right now, right? I want to start posting some URLs so that people can figure out, okay, get this URL, get this URL. You got some case studies. Let's see. Just trying to find some questions here, right? Boom. Boom. 238. Boom. Boom. Now, I like having all these questions. There you go. All right. Now that I got all these articles in there, I want ChatGPT to essentially do different research and come up with the podcast talk track. So, how do you go from being first-time developer to winning emergency? What exactly is an emergency set aside? Why does it matter for you for housing developers? When you're applying for the 9% set aside, what did housing actually care about most about an application? What mistakes do first-time people? How did you structure your development team as a newer developer so lenders felt comfortable backing the deal? What role did mission alignment? I don't know about that one. He walked through the biggest challenge you faced between breezing as you're closing and breaking ground. How did you think about capital stack layering, including tax credit layering? Okay, these are decent questions. All right, let's go for it. So these are decent questions, but I'm going to change them up here. And here's what I mean. From an educator, first-time developer, and winning. When you were applying for an applicant, what did housing actually care most about? How much money did you have to invest to even get the application completed to even have a chance for winning the 9% tax credits? What mistakes did you make and you help understand how competitive line typically is? How did you structure development as a new developer? What role did mission alignment? I don't know about the number 6 one. I'm going to delete that one. You walked through the biggest challenges you faced. Closing. How did you structure your capital stack? Please provide real numbers when possible. What operation reality surprised you most at the parallel? Started filling with residents. How did you overcome these problems? How important partnerships with experienced zones? Let's see. How did you assemble your team? Why do you think affordable housing, particularly all right, I think I got my 12 questions. So these questions were pretty good, but I want to change them a little bit and just make them sound a little bit more real to people and make sure that I'm pulling out practical advice for people that are doing this for the first time. So hopefully this was helpful for everybody. Again, I just want you to get in my head and understand how do I actually come up with the questions? And more importantly, how do I phrase the questions so that they're actually discoverable? Because in the future, everyone's going to be asking ChatGPT these questions, right? They're not actually going to look for a podcast. And it's up to you to put yourself in a position where your podcast is still being discovered going forward. So that's where I see the world going, and that's how I'm preparing for it. Hopefully, you all have an amazing Saturday.